If they do have intercourse during that ovulation time, a sperm can reach up to the egg, fertilize the egg, and the ventral line stays intact. Fertilized egg will then move down the fallopian tube and implant itself. Okay, and then now, I want you to think about something else here. Talk about the male body for a second. The male body, when they release sperm into the female body, guys, just to give you an idea how tiny the cells are, they release between 200 and 500 million sperm cells in the female human body. Isn't that basement? You're like, okay, why do they need so many of these cells? Right? So we ask them a lot of them. The reason they need so many is because we think, oh my gosh, all those will get up to the egg. Out of all those released into this body, only between 1 and 1,000 will actually reach the egg. Because there are so many obstacles in the female body to get up there to the egg. For example, the vagina has fluids that try to kill anything foreign, any foreign invaders. So a sperm cell in the female body is a foreign invader. It doesn't belong there. The body does not make it. So the body tries to reject it. Okay? So there's a lot of obstacles to get there to the egg. So the male body makes so many of those cells. Alright. And then once the sperm cell does penetrate the egg and fertilize it, that's life. How many of you have seen on the news in the past year or two? They're doing all this research on fertilization. Is that process there? And they're seeing that when the sperm cell actually penetrates the egg, a spark of light goes off. Anybody see it on the news? A spark of light goes off inside the egg. So like, it's like a flash of light. And here's what's really fascinating too. Let's just say 1,000 sperm cells reach the egg, and they're all gathered around the egg. Okay? Only one is going to penetrate the egg and fertilize it. So like, what else is going on, guys? As soon as that cell enters the egg puts all this protecting coating all around it so nobody else can get in. It's like one and done. So it puts all this protective coating and nobody else can get in, just have one cell makes it. Okay? So I want you to think a little, yeah.
What about twins?
Great question. Okay, so you have identical twins and you have fraternal twins. Okay? Identical twins occur. That's a great question because yes, everybody wants to know. Identical twins, one sperm cell, one egg. When that egg is fertilized, it completely splits. Okay? Great question. Fraternal twins, we different genders. Fraternal twins, the female body releases 2 eggs, and you have 2 different sperm fertilizing each egg. That make sense? Okay? All right. But that's life. That's when it begins right there. And if you were to see this actually happening inside the female body, it is mind-blowing. Have any of you ever seen the movie The Miracle of Life? Anybody ever seen that movie? Okay, have you seen it? It's crazy, isn't it? Like inside the female body. What they did in The Miracle of Life was one of the first movies ever made where they actually put a camera inside the female body and one inside the male body. Like seriously, a microfiber camera the size of a hair inside the body, you can actually see all of that stuff literally happening. It's like crazy. You can see the fin grabbing the egg. You can see the sperm going into the female body and fertilizing the egg. It is insane. So all of this stuff that's happening is perfectly natural the way the body should be. This is the way the body should be, you guys. And you're perfect. You are absolutely perfect. Do you understand that? Do you seriously understand how perfect your body is? And like, you don't need to change it. Because God, the designer, said, hey, you don't need to change anything. I made the design. And it's pretty good. So you don't need to change this stuff, guys. Okay. So, I want to ask first before I go on. Do you guys have any questions about that stuff? Any questions at all? Okay. When we talk about the birth control pills a little bit, they're God's masterpiece. How true is that? Really, it's a masterpiece. I personally take great pride in that. Okay, so since we find ourselves fashioned into all this excellently formed and marvelously functioning parts in Christ's body, let's go ahead and be what we were made to be, without enviously or pridefully comparing ourselves with each other. We're trying to be something we aren't. From Romans. How many of you have a Bible? I'm not being like sarcastic, but okay. Because when I was your age, I didn't really, wasn't even an option to read it, to be honest with you. Like Sam said, you guys, take that book out and read it. It seriously is like a roadmap to your life. And I wish I would have known that when I was your age. I didn't really, like I said, I went to Catholic school for 12 years. I didn't really pay too much attention to it. And I got older and I read it like, how come I did not know this before? If we didn't know how to read it, read it, it's awesome. I'll leave this slide. I'm going to stop comparing and start celebrating God and doing this way. Okay, so let me talk a little bit about, I just like these slides, you guys, I just love these. Purity means looking to God for our standards and not to the world. Do you find it difficult to live in this society today? Somebody tell me why. Well, what do you find difficult about it, guys? What is yours? The standards? Or you live up to them? Yeah, I agree. Who else? Why?
I don't describe it now, especially if it's in our society, everything is okay. But even though I have my own, people still like
Yeah, I can imagine. It's not the people our age, but you guys are being hammered. You guys are being hammered big time with what's right and what's not. And as when I was teaching school, we would have there were times I would just stop teaching class and just have conversations because some kids were struggling with just stuff. And you guys know what it's like. I'm kind of getting off topic here, but I think it's kind of important. When you get into the whole dating thing, okay, you may not be there yet, you may, I don't know where you are. We may have friends who are dating who are, like Sam said before, hooking up, the hookup culture. People are like, it's okay to hook up. Not really. Because nobody tells you the truth, nobody tells you the consequences of that stuff. Nobody tells you the possibility of STDs, possibility of pregnancy, possibility of rumors, possibility of being made fun of.
Also, it's an emotional connection with the person, and that's what they do is when they're going to we're building a connection in their life, and it's what people do.
Exactly. I'm so glad you said that, Sarah.
Can you repeat it?
Say it again, Sarah.
I said it's like, that sense of an emotional connection with the person, and like having multiple ones, you're breaking that connection over and over again, it takes you towards.
You're so right. Guys, your hormones control everything in your body. Your hormones control every single thing in your body, not just the sex hormones like progesterone, estrogen, testosterone, which by the way, males have also, we have testosterone. Hormones control every single thing in your body. They control the way you think. Progesterone controls the way your brain is wired. Progesterone controls the way your brain is wired. There's a hormone called oxytocin, which is the bonding hormone. And what Sarah was just talking about is that bonding hormone. It is released during sexual intercourse, and it bonds the person emotionally to the other. So hormones control everything. So when you do things like put the pill into the human body, which changes the hormones of the body, you're changing a lot more than just the female reproductive system. You're changing a lot. So hormones control everything. So just be cautious when people want to give you prescription things, stuff like that. Just be very cautious. But what Sarah was saying was that you have the emotional component too. So when someone breaks up with you after like a hookup or whatever, you're crushed. Females are more crushed than males simply because, and it's just a physiological thing, you are physiologically more mature than males are at your age. Okay, we're not putting guys down, that's a physiological thing. They catch up when they're about 17, 18. Okay, so it's a physiological thing. So you're more tied to them than they are to you. And then I'm going to tell you, just been teaching high school for so many years, I can tell you exactly when somebody is dating and when they brought sex into their relationship. I can tell you right away. It's very obvious. Very obvious. Because you have this, okay? You will have this. You'll have people like